Hey y'all, we just clicked off this base face video and we clicked back on. We already have on the City Beauty lip oil. We're going to put this on. We used the Made by Mitchell fin mill that Janessa sent me, the curve case and the blush pod that we used to do this look, and I'm really digging it. So we're going to just jump into this eye look. We are using, I highly recommend these, the MAC Connecting Color palettes. If you see it flickering, my kitchen light has 3 bulbs in it. One already blew out, which I love because that's the right lightness or brightness that I like. But another one, the second one is flickering, so that's going to die any day now. It's been flickering for like, I don't know. But so we see it flickering, that's what that is. It's not anything paranormal going on. It's just my light bulb. It's going to blow out. I do recommend these. This one is Unfiltered Nudes. I have Future Flames, and I have the Hi-Fi Color Palette, which is the fun, colorful one. What you see on the outside is what you see on the inside. And when Morphe came out with their 12 pans, y'all know I'm like, they copying this. But this I do recommend these. For me, MAC is just a solid formula. We're going to use this today, and we're going to pair that with Spellcast Beauty, which is the sister side of Notoriously Morbid. I do have a code down below, 15% off of that. And so these are the 2 palettes that we're going to be using today, and I am excited for that. And I think we're most likely going to just use these from, what did I say that was? Garden Grunge. Like, I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'm not sure. Or maybe we'll use them for toppers for something, but we'll see. We will see. So the color stories are very different. When I pair palettes, I do tend to pair palettes with palettes that have different color stories. Because if I have a palette with neutrals and they're like, oh, that would be a great palette to pair with Unfiltered Nudes, chances are, if you're using 2 palettes, that have a similar color story, that whatever look you do, you can do with one or the other. And so that's why I intentionally pick something that's drastically different. So we're going to be pairing these 2 today. And we'll see, am I going to hold these up and say the names? Because, hi, my name is Dion. I'm a label hoarder. And the sleeve that came in here, I put labels on here. I just like to know what stuff is called, like just in case somebody's interested. Because sometimes people will say, oh, what shade was this? What shade was that? And I'm like, I did that video like 3 weeks ago. I don't remember. You'll see this probably in like 2 weeks. So that's why I do usually show what it is. And even if I don't say what it is named, the shadow color, just dupe it for something you have in your collection. Like, try not to feel like you need to go out and get that exact palette. And when I hear people or read comments, I should say, oh my gosh, I love that look, I'm gonna buy that palette. Chances are the look you do is not gonna look exactly like theirs, because how something looks depends on our complexion, our undertone, our technique, and the brushes that we use, and how we use the brushes that we use. I see a lot of people using blending brushes for their lid shades, and that's something that would not work for me because I am a packer. I like to pack shadow on, and the blending brush is not going to allow me to do that. So try not to just be gung-ho over a palette. I forgot to do my inner rims and lower lash line, because usually I do that after the base face, and I did not today. Do I want to go ahead and try and do that really quick? No, because my eyelids are hooded. And so, like, when I do this, this is my mobile lid, just this right here. And when I look up, it hides under the hood. And so if I don't put something on here fairly quickly, it's going to crease in there. But we may be able to do it after we put on Groundwork Paint Pot from MAC. Because this is creamier. And so even though this will crease a little bit, it won't get dry and hard. Like the Fenty, like when it dries, it dries. And so if it creases, I'm usually stuck with the crease. And then it's a challenge for me sometimes to blend out the eyeshadow. Ooh, okay. No eye boogers allowed today. Do I want to do the intro today? I did it for smacking. I did it when I did the base face, but that is a separate video. Hello again and welcome. We're doing the intro. My name is Dion. I call this the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube. Why do I call it that? The crazy. Knowing it's okay to be your authentic self in a world where people have the audacity to tell you who and how you should be. Personal preference. I'm just making sure. The blue one from Hung Vango for Inner Realms. Know it's okay to just be who you are, and it is very freeing to live your life for yourself and not keep trying to people please and act in a way or do certain things that other people say you should do. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. I did not mean to come down that far. Try not to feel like you need to use particular brands, particular techniques, buy certain tools, because that's what they're doing in the video that you're watching. Use whatever you want to, however you want to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. Here at the Crazy Troll Nation, we believe in self-acceptance and self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, never feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even when you're not wearing face paint. So that's what the Crazy Troll Nation is. That's what our motto. That's what we live by. That's what we stand by. Just being yourself and rocking whatever you want to rock with confidence, regardless of what people say. Just know you are amazing just because you are you. You know what I'm saying? And so this one is One Eye at a Time, also from Hung Vengo. I'm going to put this on our lower lash line. 2 things about me. Sometimes I curse because sometimes I curse. And it's an organism named Bruce that lives in my throat that likes to randomly hiccup, gurgle, and belch in videos, and in particularly in live streams. And I do believe mostly in live streams because, or more often in live streams, because I am guzzling a beverage or I'm scarfing down, my lunch right before I start. I haven't had anything to eat today. I woke up with no appetite and my allergies are acting up. This eyeball actually feels like it's swollen. I left my balcony door open. We had a temperature drop, but that doesn't stop the pollen. You know what I mean? And so whatever's outside comes inside as far as, allergens in the air. And so I haven't eaten yet. I've only drank a little bit of water, so I know I need to drink more. My goal is 80 ounces a day. Sometimes I drink 120. How do I know that? Because I have a tumbler, a flask that is 40 ounces. And so that helps me track how much I actually do drink. And I have had one today. So yeah, I have had 40. So I need to down the next 40. But I know I do need to eat. I just don't have an appetite. I have been back to making my cucumber, onion, and tomato salads, and of course dumping a protein in it and some seeds and Penzi seasonings. Of course, we gotta have that. And I did take out chili last night. Well, this morning before I went to sleep, and that has thawed. And so, because I knew we had this cold thing coming in, cold front. But so what are we going to do? So I do have options of what to fix. When I first used this palette, I'm not sure. I think we went down the row like this, then this, and then all on the lid. But I do. So I'm not sure what I want to do. Do we want to? That's pretty. That's pretty. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. We're going to dial up the gold, this shade here from our Future Flames palette, and we're going to pop that in here. This is not their shade, but it's just like a nice little bit of shimmer something or other going on. And the paint pot that I use does have a color, as you see, and it does just even out my skin tone on my eyelid, because my eyelids, the mobile lid, is darker than up here. And I remember when I was using Contemplative State as a shadow base. Down here, it is perfect. The closer I got to my lash line, it looked more and more mustard. Yeah, so my eyelids is not, from lash line to brow, is not just one shade. That is pretty. This one does pop a little bit more, and it is more of a silver than this being a gold. And because of my undertone, this does just blend in. And I do like it. So we're going to put that brush down. Do we want to take another shade from in here right now? No. So we're going to pick this up. I'm thinking of just using these two. This would, no, you know what? I'm thinking this one and then this one. Also, when I do looks, I try to do unusual color combinations, because a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with it at all, and it is really beautiful, when they do monochromatic. It's just one color story, just varying degrees of depth depth across the lid, and it is very beautiful, very easy to do, because when you're doing something monochromatic, it's going to look pretty because it's all in the same color family. But I do strive to do things a little differently. Maybe give somebody ideas. I will say some of my official trolls, like, they like color anyway, so it's like I'm not teaching them anything. But I am thinking this and then this one. That's what I'm thinking. What I do want to point out, this shade is Rebel Bloom. What I do want to point out is that these metallics punch a lot more than the MAC. Oh, this is creasing upward. You see how this is wet right here? I didn't even realize my eye was tearing, but yeah, it'll just like wash the shadow away. Hopefully it'll stop. The MAC ones are more of a satin formula than the Spellcast Beauty one, and you can see what I mean. Oh, well, maybe not. I keep wondering if this is hard pan, and I don't think so, because this shine to me is usually what hard pan ends up being, but it is picking up very nicely on the brush. But I do realize I have to go back and forth quite a bit. It's not spreading very far, but that is a pretty shade, and I do like this shade. I really like this palette. I had to get it because it has Grunge in the title. Is that all it takes for you, Dion? Yup. That's about it. That's about all it takes. I remember when I first saw the Yucca palette, I forget how Natasha pronounces it. Both ways are correct depending on what you're talking about, because there is like a Yucca blend and there's like a Yucca oil or something, or vice versa. But I forget what she called it as, and I'm clowning myself because when I first got it, I'm like, well, I'm calling it this because that's what Natasha calls it, and then by the next week, I forgot. And I just be like, Yucca palette, however you pronounce it. My throat has been a little froggy lately. And I know I'm not sick because I haven't been anywhere. Like, I haven't even been to check my mail, which I do need to check. And I keep wondering, keep thinking, like, do I want to go check it tonight? But it is cold out. It's like 45 degrees outside. All right, we're going to put that brush down. We're going to, ooh, something just flaked into this eye. We're going to go ahead and take this one. And this one is Decay in Delight. So we're going to take this one. This is a different formula than these three. And you can see how it looks like it would be shimmery, where this is more of a smoother formula. But it is really, I just like how these shades, I like these colors. This one, I don't know why I'm thinking it shows up darker. Excuse me for those glares. So we're going to put this here. We're going to go back and forth where the two meet just to blend. If I wanted more of that red tone, I would take that brush and sweep this way. If I wanted more of the blue tone, then I would take this and overlap with that red. But I want them to kind of stay separate, but still blended. And so with that, I'll just go lightly back and forth where they meet, and that'll kind of just keep the colors where they are while blending them together. I thought this, well, I thought it was going to be darker. I haven't used this in a while, so that's why I'm like, but do I still love it? Yes, I do. Tilt this mirror here. I have a live stream tomorrow. Today is April 19th. Yo, I have been sleeping so good with this cooler weather. Oh my gosh. And I wake up frequently. I mean, not as much as I used to. I used to wake up every 90 minutes. Now I wake up like every 3 hours, and I will just check messages and go right back to sleep. And I told myself, I said, you know, around 8 o'clock when I wake up, if I wake up around 8 o'clock, I'll get up. Y'all. Because it was like around 5 something. When I woke up again, it was like 9:20. I'm like, holy cow. I was sleeping good. And I laid there for a little bit, like, do I want to get up or sleep some more? And I'm like, girl, go ahead and get up because you got things to do. You got things that you want to, that's in your calendar to do today. But yeah, I was just like, whoa, like it is like after 9 o'clock. I am nocturnal. I go to sleep between 6 and 10 in the morning, typically. And so I get up whatever time I get up in the afternoon depends on what time I go to sleep that morning. We're looking in here, and I do want to take something dark. I don't know how dark this is going to be, but let's just put it and see. And that shade is Hidden Album, this shade, and this is a satin type shade. And so we're going to put this over here. I do want to make it darker in the corner, so I'm going to leave space for that. And we are overlapping that bluish shade with this. That's nice. It is so quiet in here, y'all. I can hear my refrigerator. It's like sounds like something that's gurgling. I don't know what's up with that. I really like these palettes, y'all. I really do. I don't reach for the 8-pan palettes often because it's nothing for me to put, 7 to 9 shades on for the look, including lower lash line. And so I gravitate towards palettes that are 12 or 15 pan because I do use so many colors, and it's not necessary at all. It's just I just like doing stuff. Let me take out another one of those brushes, and we're going to take Give Me Cyberspace, this dark brown. Or do I want to? No, Cyberspace. Give Me Cyberspace. So we're going to put that for the outer corner. And of course, right now I'm thinking what to do for under my brow. So we're just going to stamp it. Y'all, look at... Y'all. We just tapped it. Y'all, matte just works for me. And then we're going to press it upward to meet that other shade. Y'all. And then we're going to sharpen the edge. The only time this doesn't work is when I don't have primer over here, because then it's like, shadow doesn't want to stay there. And we're going to lightly feather over that lighter brown shade. Y'all look, oh my gosh. And now we're going to feather back and forth. That is pretty. I did not see much of that brownish shade until I put the darker shade there, because I can see the difference in color. That is, oh my gosh. Can I do this side the same exact way? Probably not. Probably not, because they're usually different. They're close enough, just like brows. It's like they're close enough, and people don't really be looking like, is it exactly the same? And it is a skill to do that, but for me, it's like I'm like, I'm just sitting here playing in makeup, you know what I mean? So, but there are times when I do make it a point to be more precise. That is pretty. That is pretty. And I do think it looks... I'm looking at the shapes. This does come straight here, where this one has this little peak right here. But it's okay. So we're going to feather in between these two browns. Y'all, that's pretty. Oh my gosh. We're going to feather more here, because this side looks like it's more feathered, or it might be the lighting, like as I always say, because there's a light on over there. So, and I'm like, or why not just turn off the kitchen light? Will it make a difference? Oh, it does. Look at this. So this is with the light on, but now it looks more shadowed over here, and I think it's because there's a wall right here, and I think that's why I do keep the kitchen light on. That was nice though. I'm just fine either way. I'm looking at myself like, girl. So for our okay, now for this area here, and even I didn't blend up here because of how the shadows perform. It does look like I blended that upper line, I think. And so you could just leave it like this, but we're not. We're going to, what are we going to do? We're going to take this brush and we're going to go into, do I want to do two different shades? We are, just because we're going to, these are in the same color story. All right, we're going to take, what was I just looking at? We're going to take Gilded Thorns, this shade here, And we're going to tap straight. And I love this brush for this because it is tapered. This is a no, it is not. It's an E45 Sigma. And I always usually say E-some because it's an E, but it's a Sigma brush. Because it's tapered and I can get it exactly where I want it. And you see it's not that much space right here, which I like. That is not a lot of space left after I do the lid shades. And so we're just going to put this right here. And that is nice. This is mustardy in a way. And so I go lightly. We're going to I'm going to put that brush down. We're going to go back to Unfiltered Nudes. And we're going to take Uninterrupted, this shade. So this was the first one. Can I get them next to each other? Yeah, if I stop being awkward. Wow, we're going this way. So these two shades. So this one here is what we just placed, and now we're going to take this one that's next to it for the outer half under our brow. I do use a clean brush for each shadow, and as I said earlier, I think I said it, I do wash brushes in between uses, and I have enough where I cannot, you know, wash brushes for like 3 or 4 makeup looks, and then I'm like, okay, I need to, and I try not to do that, but I like that. And there has been times though where for whatever reason I didn't wash afterwards, and then I had like and I lined them up next to my zinc, and it was just like, girl, all these brushes are taking over your countertop. I like that. We're going to take the brush that had this outer corner shade, and we're not adding color to it, but we're just going to feather right here because I don't like what I just did, but it still works. So we're going to take this brush again that had that outer corner underbrow, which there's no brow over here. Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. Lower lash line. What are we going to do? We're going to take, for lower lash line, I love the Fenty 220 brushes, and it's called Precision brush. I love it for lower lash line. I almost exclusively use these for lower lash line, but they're also good for doing outer V's, for doing your brow, because it is tapered and it is pointy. We're going to take Les Artistes, this shade, and we're going to put that on the first portion of our lower lash line. It did stop tearing because that hole did not come back. So we're going to put this here. Also, when I pair palettes, I make a conscious effort to use equal number. It's wet right here. I make a conscious effort to try to use equal number of shadows from each palette. So we've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Garden Grunge. And we've used, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 from the MAC one. So that's 8 shades right there. So that's what I was saying, y'all. Like, it is so easy for me to just use a bunch of shadows. And I don't intend to do that. I just want to use certain colors. So it's like, okay, let's just put these on in a way that the look will look nice to me. So that's that first shade. We're going to go back to Garden Grunge, and we're going to take, ooh, the darker one. Or I think we're going to just use this one. This one, oh, hit the blue with that. We didn't use any of the greens. I love this. I love how this is transitioning between these colors over here. We're going to take Haunted Fern, this shade, and we're going to put this on the outer half of our lower lash line. This is a pretty shade. Actually, all of these are. And we're going to bring it out here. I love doing this, and I realized a while ago that I like the triple wing effect. When I put on a liquid, not a liquid, a potted gel liner. So you'll see this shade under here, you'll see the liner shade, and then the shadow up here. So it gives it like a triple wing effect type thing, and I just love that. And right now I'm trying to think of what shade of eyeliner I want to use. We're not going to use the Lethal Water Activated liners. I haven't used them in a while. My eyes have been teary lately, and so using a water activated liner is just going to just run off my face. I love it. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love it. Do I need to make this thicker? Because this side looks, oh my gosh, that's pretty. Oh man. That's nice. Taper it. Yeah, boy. So that is the eyeshadow. So what are we going to use? This eye is tearing downward. You see it's glistening because it's wet, not because it's a satin. And it will just run down my face. So we've used 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 brushes for our eyeshadow look. What color do I want to use for my upper lash line? That is the question. And do I want to, I'm going to do something also with my brows. This right here, Janessa sent me this as well. This is Haze Perfect Gel Liner from Melt. It does not show up on my upper lash line, but yesterday I put this in my brows. It looked nice. So I think this will be for my brows. And I do have a purple, but this is not quite a purple. I do have a dark matte purple from England. I think because this is a metallic. Maybe that's why it doesn't show up. I don't know. So what are we going to do for upper lash line? I feel like I've used this one recently. But I think, I don't know. Do I want to use red or green? Yellow. Yellow will pop it. Oh, that'll be like, whoa. I kind of want to do that. Should I be basic and do brown? Girl, do not do basic. Okay, I won't do basic. This is going to pop it. The red will look nice too. Girl, this one. Do I need Dora line in here? So right now, and I'm just seeing like what's picking up on the brush. Do I need Dora line? No, it is a little dry. It's dragging a little bit, but that's okay. Y'all, here's a question. I used to ask questions in every video, but I think sometimes I get so excited about what I'm doing that I forget. I have shadow in my lashes. I mean, liner in my lashes. And I don't want it to fall into my eye because my eyes will tear. Did I get it? Yeah, you see that? Yeah. Do you use what I call non-traditional eyeliner colors for your upper lash line? Non-traditional meaning not a brown or a black. Like, do you actually use something other than a brown or a black for your upper lash line? It's been a game changer for me because it does, like, it just changes the look. Like, girl, I just love it. And also putting liner in my brows. Yeah, this is dry and it's dragging. I don't want to put Dora line in. So it did do, excuse me if that freaks you out. So this will be the challenging part, is doing the wing because it is dry. So we're just gonna do a small wing. That's kind of where it stopped. It just stopped itself. I could just gonna put Dora line in it and stop making it difficult for myself, or I should say to make it easier. But then I'm telling myself, you can do it, Dion. You can do it. It would make it easier though. The last few times I put Dora line in this and then did my upper lash line, I put too much Dora line in it and the eyeliner transferred up here. Because you see, once I put eyeliner on and then I look up, it's almost where my hood is. And so it was transferring like all across here. And so I need to, and I think I was putting like 2 drops of Dora line in it instead of just 1. And the reasons that I would do that, for liners like this that has 1 crack or 2, when I would put the Dora line in it, it would just go straight into the crack. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me put 2 drops of Dora line in it, but then it was too wet. And so I need to just do the 1 and just try to, you know, catch it from in the crack. Catch the liner from in the crack. Crack is wet. I feel like this has that accidental swoosh. Is this the, I think that's that eyeshadow. Is that the eyeshadow? Did y'all just hear that in my stomach? Did y'all hear that? It was like, I guess I am hungry. I don't feel like I have an appetite. Sometimes there is a disconnect for me. Like I'll feel like, okay, I'm not hungry, I don't have an appetite, but then I'll get lightheaded, or my hands will start shaking. I'm like, okay, I need to eat. So sometimes there is a disconnect between feeling hungry and knowing that I need to eat. We're going to go back with this shade. And I don't know what that's about. I really don't. And there are other times and I'm like, I am hungry. Like not hungry, I'm hungry. And so there's just, and you know, I don't know what the correlations are or whatever, but sometimes I don't feel hungry and my sugar drops and I'm like, I need to eat because I'm shaking. And other times I'm like, I am hungry, I need to eat. This just doesn't look, it looks like there's a gap. So we're going to leave that alone though, because it's really not. That's pretty though. It does look like it is a gap though. All right, we're going to leave it alone, I say, as I put more of that shadow there. But it still looks like there's a gap. It is really not. I think it's just how the shadow looks because it's that metallic shade. Lancome Sills Booster. No, we're going to put haze in our brows. Y'all watch how this changes. Y'all like, girl, you got so many colors. I know. And it's bomb, right? Yep. I like this brush for this because it fits perfectly the width of my brow. It really does. My Esom does too, and so does the Sigma. This is a no-name brush from that kit. This is what I use it for. Put shadow in my brows. Not shadow in my brows. Put liner in the brows. And I am doing it flat to here, to where my brows kind of stop. Well, actually, they kind of stop like here. And then I'll use the tip of the brush for where I don't have hair and for where I drew the tail. But look what that did to the look. Y'all can't tell me. Well, you can tell me I ain't fine and my makeup look a mess, but am I going to believe you? Hell no. And it goes back to just doing what you like for you. You know what I mean? And I love this for me. Like, I am like, girl, this arch is pointy right here where the other side is not. So let's round you off. Y'all. Now is when I think of what lip I want to do. So when I'm doing my lower lash line, that's when I'm thinking of what to put for upper lash line. This is Lancome Sills Booster XL Mascara Base, which is a mascara primer. When I do my lower lash line, that's when I'm thinking of what color to put for upper lash line. And when I do my upper lash line, that's when I start thinking of what lip color I want to do. Lately, for live streams, I do plan out the products I want to use so that I can tag them, which I can tag them after the live is over. Because what I realize is, you know, I'll just put my basics, you know, the foundation, primer, face primer, eye primer, Fashion Fair. So those are things I'm going to use, and certain brushes I always use for the same things. But as far as other things, I was tagging stuff and then I would have to go back and edit it and take out tags or put in new tags. And so for live streams lately, I do plan out usually what I'm going to use, because when I finish a live stream, it takes me an hour to do all the back end stuff. You know, take the pictures, do a collage of the pictures. If it's a creative look, cropping those pictures for Instagram. And what else is there? Editing the tag list. And so, and then if I do a flat lay as well, but it can take me up to an hour after a live stream to finish all the back end stuff. Like, seriously. And then doing the thank you on, you know, my YouTube as a post on my tab. And so when the live stream is over, like for me, it's not over. It's still like at least, oh, I should say up to an hour of work to do. So when it's over, it's not over. And you know, that there's always things just in general life, just in general everyday life that can be done. But doing content, that's just, you know, part of what I do. Some people don't put anything in their description box, but I do. Speaking of which, there's a lot of stuff down there. This is running, as you can see. I don't really want to move the makeup that's under there. We're going to wipe out. I still don't know what lip we're going to do. We're going to wipe out some of the lip oil. So there's a lot of information down below, a lot of codes, a lot of links, playlists of interest, excuse me, which may end up in the iCard, and also the end cap. What else? The membership information is down. If you click join, it will not automatically join you. What am I going to do for a lip? This caught my eye. I'm also looking at my Blend Bunny lippies, and I've been using them a lot lately, so I'm like, let me move on to something else. This will be really easy because this is like a neutral lip. Let's do that. Y'all like, girl, what's happening to you? I don't know. Because y'all know I wouldn't do those. I'm gonna do this one. A nude lip. And they say bold eye, nude lip, nude eye, bold lip, but I do both. And I'm not really geared towards nude lips, but we're going to do this combination. But it does work. It does work. This is from MAC. It's called Grunge. Greige. And that's the color. We're going to put this lip liner on. I don't know what kind of color this is. But when I swatched it in the store, I was like, oh, okay, that'll work. Because online, it looked like a grayish green. And I had it in my cart. And I'm like, let me go into the store and just swatch the different lip liners I had in my cart. And that's new for me, too, because there was a time when I seldom lined my lips. And maybe like a quarter of my way through my journey, I would line my lips with the same, well, the lip liner and the lipstick would be the same color. So that way when the lipstick wore off, you would still have that same color underneath. And I felt so validated when Hun Bangle said that. And so some of his lip liners are the exact same shade as the lipstick. And he said the same thing. He said when the lipstick wears off, you'll still have that same color there. And that's more so for bullet lipsticks versus liquid lipsticks. And so when I really got into liquid lipsticks, I didn't have a need, or I didn't see the need for makeup. Is not a need anyway. This is almost like my complexion. Well, at least my lip liner, my lip line coloring. So I stopped using lip liners because for me, liquid lipsticks don't move. But lately though, even though I'm using, still liquid lipsticks, I do have a few bullets. I've been lining them again. This is Bare Crust from Notoriously Morbid, their Spellcast beauty side of the brand. I was surprised that I really like this shade because it is just a nude shade. And also what's weird about me, I end up covering a lip liner with the lipstick. And sometimes I'll go back and add more liner, particularly if it's a gloss. Or if there's just something about the lip line look that I'm not liking. Why does that make my lip look bigger over here? This is pretty. This is pretty though, for real. So I put a lip line down and then cover it up. I'm making my way through Storm of the Century on YouTube. The visual is not the best. Some of it does look grainy, and it is an older movie if you're familiar with Stephen King. It's from his novel. It's 4 hours. I watch a little bit every day. This is pretty. This is pretty. Do I want to top this with something? I just kissed myself in my mirror over here. I do, but I don't. I'm looking at this from Blend Body. This is their gloss from the Haunt Me line, Premonition. Let's see what this does. But you know what? No, we're going to restraint. Girl, just stop. Okay, so this is the look. Let me know what you think. And let me know if you do use non-traditional eyeliner colors for upper lash line, meaning not a brown or a gray or a black. And also for lower lash line. Like, do you use non-traditional colors for down there? Y'all saw today. We have blue on the inner rims and green on the lower lash line, but then we did put shadow on top of it. So for me, the liner serves as a base for what shadow I put on top of it, even though there are times, few and far in between, where I'll put a liner, lower lash line, and then smudge it out, and I do like that look as well. So all this stuff I do is not necessary, just like doing an eye primer and then putting the paint pot on top. Is it necessary? No. Do I love the effect? Yes. Do I love what it does? And so this is a triple wing effect, even though the eyeshadow is about the same shade as the yellow. So you see this down here, then you see the yellow up here. So that's that triple wing effect that I was telling you that I really love. And so thank you for being here, y'all. If it's your first time here, go ahead and subscribe. Click the notification bell. Click join to see the membership perks. It will not automatically join you. And I do hope that the perks appeal to you because we would love to have you become an official Trollkin. So again, thank you for being here. And as always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon.